Too?
Yep.
All right.
All right. Welcome back to the Amazing Reviews, where we are going to be rapidly recapping the last 4 episodes. Not the most current, but the last 4. We're going to break it down. We're going to go episode 5, Indonesia. Joining me tonight, as always, Calbert. Calbert, what's up?
What's going on, everybody?
And making his return is none other than Goldberg. Goldberg, what's going on?
I'm so happy to be back. Got so much, a lot of thoughts on this season.
Fitting, 5 teams left and Goldberg shows up. Isn't that just how it's?
You want me to give my pick? I'll give my pick now.
Go ahead. It's down to 5. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, there were 2 teams I would have picked from day one. If you can't guess them, then you don't know me by now.
Well, we know who you're picking. Yes.
Yeah.
To be fair, I have been singing the praises of Brett and Mark all season long.
Brett and Mark would have been the team I would have picked. Just putting it out there. And they had a couple bad legs.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, not by their fault, though.
No.
Not by their fault, because,
looks alone, I would have picked them. And I'm a proponent of the gay people on this show, so I would have picked them for sure.
Yeah, no,
the other team is not a couple. I think I just figured that out this past episode.
Yeah,
they are just friends. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. Carson and Jack, just friends.
Yep.
Do you want to guess who I picked this season, Goldberg?
Okay, that's true. I do not know who you picked. Is your team still in it?
Yes.
As far as I know, yes.
Yes, they are. I'll answer that for you.
Okay.
They're still in it?
I'm not.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Let me see. So if you didn't pick Brett, and you didn't pick Jack and Carson, you didn't pick Jonathan and Anna. Well, okay. You're a typical man-girl picker. So it's got to be the married couple. What's their name? Somebody give me their name, or who I'm thinking of at least.
It's
Josiah.
What?
Yep.
Alyssa and Josiah.
Alyssa
and Josiah.
Yep.
Alyssa and Josiah.
That's their
Yes.
name? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, the young married couple, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Is that who you picked?
That's who I picked. Yep.
Okay, yeah, that's you're always picking a young married couple.
Yeah. Well, last season I did, and I went with the firefighters, and that was a total. That was a girl team. First girl team I've ever picked, and they got eliminated pretty quickly.
Well, I don't want to spoil. I mean, we'll get to it, but there were a couple teams, mainly one, that I would say would have been a top. I didn't listen. I haven't listened. I haven't gotten a chance to listen, but I would venture to think you both probably rated them in the top 3 in your first episode. And maybe I'm wrong, but the boys from New York or Jersey, were they not a team you guys thought were?
We were kind of middle on them.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah, we were kind of middle. I didn't like the dynamic that they were so close to each other, so I felt like they had same skill level. And I'm
gonna say one more thought, and I don't know if either you, Calbert or Hurls, can get this, but I thought, and I think we're gonna get to it. We are gonna get to it because it's one of the ones we're gonna review today. One person in the ones we're gonna review had the worst episode that I've ever seen anyone have since I've come back to watching the show.
Oh,
you don't have to guess it now.
Okay.
Nope.
But maybe you know who it is.
Ooh.
In the span of these 4 episodes that we're reviewing, one person had the worst episode I've ever seen anyone have since coming back to watch the show.
It's just okay. All right. I'll guess. But I'll wait.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Guess it when it comes up. Calbert, throw it in. Interrupt and guess it when we get there.
Fair enough.
If you think you know who it is.
All right. Well, let's start off with episode 5 here. Indonesia. At the start of the leg, teams were instructed to travel to the Sacred Monkey Forest Sanctuary. Once there, teams found Phil, who informed them that they would have an open vote for a double U-turn on this leg. Outside of Pira Dalam Agung Padang Tegal, the team's votes, as well as the voting order, were as follows. We had Brett and Mark voted for Scott and Lori. Jonathan and Anna voted for Nick and Mike. Pops and Jeff voted for Jonathan and Anna. Han and Holden voted for Scott and Lori. Melinda and Erica voted for Scott and Lori. Carson and Jack voted for Jonathan and Anna. Nick and Mike voted for Scott and Lori. Alyssa and Josiah voted for Jonathan and Anna. And Scott and Lori voted for Jonathan and Anna. So what did you guys think of the double U-turn vote? And do you think the teams made the correct decision here? I'll start with you, Goldberg, since you're just returning.
No, Calbert, you could start.
Okay, Calbert.
Go. Given the time of the episode, it made sense because at that point, those were relatively the top two teams. So it made sense. Let's try and get rid of one of them. It made sense. Jonathan and Anna at that point were doing really, really well. Scott and Lori were doing really, really well. It made sense. I had no issue with it. Like Lori flipping out, which I'm going to ruin it for you. Lori flips out because they got picked. Oh, they're not friends with me anymore. All right. Tough. It's a race. I'm trying to win money. So I had no issue with it.
Yeah. Hey, and Goldberg, do you have any thoughts on this? Or do you Okay.
So, well, I mean, I guess they were the top two teams at that point. But, I mean, overall, do you really consider Scott and Lori that big of a threat? I get we had, what's their names, who won the whole season, the YouTubers.
Mm-hmm.
The Holderness family.
The Holderness family, I get it, but they're kind of an outlier. I don't think you're going to have two 50-year-old married parents of, what do they have? How many kids? 7, 8, 9?
10.
Yeah.
10, whatever it is. There's no way that they're running the table. I personally would have taken a shot at one of the, maybe even Jonathan and Anna. I guess that's a better pick, but
they did get picked.
They did. Yeah.
They did get picked.
Oh, they both got picked.
Yeah, it was a double. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the other team I would have picked wouldn't have been Scott and Lori, personally, but I would have gone with someone more like Brett and Mark, or I guess your pick, Hurls, Josiah, Alyssa, something like that. But
I don't think they would have. I don't think Scott or Brett, Mark, or Josiah and Alyssa would have got picked because they were kind of hanging under the radar at that point. I think Carson and Jack would have been a stronger pick because they're young. They were doing relatively well up to that point. So I think that's who I would have picked. I would have kept Scott and Lori just because of the fact that they were an older team. Yeah, they were killing the challenges, but
that's my point. I would have purposely kept them around. I would have even picked Nick and Mike before I picked the two of them.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, they got picked only once, but it wasn't enough for the U-turn. Mm-hmm. So anyways, after the live double U-turn vote, Phil gave teams their next clue, which sent them to Pantai Pandawa. This leg's detour was a choice between coconuts or coral. And coconuts teams had to load a bicycle with coconuts and deliver them down the beach to the Warang Van Rondon Cafe. After delivering 60 coconuts, teams had to stack them onto a rack before receiving their next clue. In coral, teams had to attach 5 species of coral to a reef star, snorkel with the star out into the ocean, and deposit it for coral reef restoration before receiving their next clue. So, detour here, Calbert. What are you picking?
I would have done coconuts all day, twice on Sunday. I know exactly what I need to do. Okay, it's 60 coconuts. I can count to 60, and it's just trusting the bike. As long as the bike is somewhat inflated, should be fine. Coral, because you also had to, so the coral, you also had to match. Once you got out, you had to come back and you had to match whatever you were trying to match. That's difficult. This, I know. It's, okay, I need 60. Let's go.
Yep. Goldberg, what are you picking here?
Yeah, I'm with Calbert on this one. Coconuts, 100%. Anytime I know what I need to do and I don't have to do anything beyond that, as long as it's pretty clear what needs to be done, even if it's exhausting, I'm going with that one.
Yeah, I agree. I'm doing coconuts. That coral challenge looks kind of brutal, even though some teams did nail it pretty quickly, but still, I'm still doing coconuts. I don't have time to think. I just have time to do, That's how I'm taking it. I'll take as many coconuts as I possibly can handle and just get frustrated along the way, but at least I know I'm doing the right thing, So for this, though, it seemed like Scott and Lori did a pretty good job at the coconuts. But by the time they got to coral, man, I was kind of surprised that they struggled on this so much. And if you look at Jonathan and Anna, Jonathan was getting super frustrated, and he might have even had some heat exhaustion going on because he had to take a time out in between and just sit on the sidewalk for a bit here. So Goldberg, I hear you're a big fan of Jonathan, huh?
I mean, this guy, I don't even know where to begin. First of all, he's a star of the season. There's no doubt about it. He not only every time, first of all, he'll finish when he finishes third, he's upset he didn't finish first. I mean, he's completely pissed off that they didn't get first. When he finishes third, he's pissed. Then when okay, I know we're not there yet, but the episode where their car broke down or they couldn't get it out of the side of the road, he was so funny in that part. Why does everything happen to me? I'm like, I don't even think half the time he realizes he has a partner in the show. Like he thinks it's him. It's him. And he has what I like to call main character syndrome. He thinks the entire show is based around him. And we need someone like that.
Right.
He's great.
Yeah.
Right.
He's hilarious without trying to be.
Is this your new Leo?
I think he's overtaken Leo.
Oh wow!
I really do.
There you go.
I think he's overtaken Leo. He is. There's something about this guy that like he's like a villain that I'm rooting for.
Yeah.
At first, I was rooting against him, but there's something about this guy that like I like him. I don't know what it is. Calbert, it's your team. How do you feel about him? Like obviously you didn't know this when you picked him, but
yeah, Jonathan's carried the team. I said that when I picked him. I'm like, he's gonna have to carry him.
Well,
I didn't even know at that point. I didn't
pretty
even know
good in a couple. She's done pretty good.
She has. But at this particular moment of this episode, I was like, he's gonna have to keep carrying her because
he will settle for nothing less than first place, and that's what makes him so great.
I said that in like the second episode of the podcast. I was like, he will not be satisfied without first place finish. He was second, let alone
Hurls. Hurls, I think I texted you this after the first episode because I took a little break after the first episode. I missed the next few, and then I caught up. But he was upset after the first episode when they had that big. I think it was the first episode when they had that big lead and they caught the train before anyone else did.
Yeah.
Was that episode?
Yes.
And he's celebrating, and everyone catches back up, and he's so let down that everyone caught back up. And I'm thinking to myself, it's the first leg. Just get by. Like the first 5 or 6, you just want to advance, survive and advance. Like what are you worried about finishing first for in the first episode? He is. Oh man, his competitiveness is unlike anyone else.
But damn it, they're gonna win the million. Right.
Yeah,
that's kind of the attitude.
Yeah, I'm not convinced he's not. He might be. Never mind. I'm not going to throw that out there on the podcast, but he may be doing something behind closed doors there. I don't know.
Well, they already took a 1-year break from each other. So.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they talked about that. That was one of my concerns with this team is are they going to have?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Was that recent?
No.
No, that was one of the beginning episodes. Might even been episode 2. Yeah.
Yeah, episode 2.
Yep.
Interesting. They have kids?
Yes.
I don't. Oh yeah, they do.
Yep.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
He's in great shape though.
He is.
He's probably in the third best shape of the season behind Brett and the other Brett's partner.
Mm-hmm.
Brett and Mark.
Those two are in. Brett and Mark are in tremendous shape.
Yep. So then after the detour, teams had to find their next clue.
Wait a minute, Hurls, do you like him?
I'm not as high on him as you are.
I
think they're a good team.
He's not. I'll answer for him. He's not.
You don't think he's stolen the season as far as like?
Oh, he's entertaining. Absolutely. Yeah. Great TV. I mean, I won't deny that. He's great TV. I think his horse blinders that he's got on about finishing first is going to derail the team at some point. But it almost has, but it hasn't though. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if
they've also in the last few episodes they've done some strategic things. teaming up with people, screwing over certain teams. They're getting a little strategic, which is
I can't tell you. I can't say anything for this past week's episode.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't
It
know.
almost didn't work to counterpoint your point there, Goldberg.
I will watch it. I will watch it soon here, but we got a lot to talk about.
You know what? I think I was thinking of the episode before that where Carson and Jack caught up. I think that's the one I was thinking of. But yeah.
Okay. But no, I think they're a good team. Like, I'm not denying they're good. They're a good team. I just think he's got to keep his head on straight. He's got to know when to use the competitiveness and when to turn it off. And I don't think he knows.
I agree with that.
And
I don't think he knows how to either.
Anna.
Because at this point, you have one goal at this point. Just don't finish last.
Correct.
And he's more worried about finishing first with 5 teams left. Like, it's not about that.
Correct. So, then they had to find their clue at the Nusa Dua Beach. And then in this leg's roadblock, one team member had to choose a surfboard, paddle out into the surf, and find a surfer with an identical board decal before receiving their next clue, which directed teams to travel on foot to the pit stop, the Taksu art stage at Nusa Dua Beach. So this roadblock looks a lot more challenging at first because there was a ton of surfers out there, but actually only having to just get the decal, not the colors, it seemed a little easier than I originally thought it was going to be. Goldberg, Goldberg, did you see this one or no?
I did. It just popped into my head. I thought it was harder than it turned out harder than it looked. I thought.
Yes.
I literally
seemingly struggled.
I thought Jonathan was going to pass out. I thought Jonathan was going to just die in the water.
He seemed like he was taking a break.
Because every single time that he went like 2 feet, it was, I'm on the board and I'm barely moving. I mean, so like, luckily, this is where possibly the benefit of his age might have helped. Because with Scott was having trouble finding somebody that matched. Plus, he went further out. So at least Jonathan was kind of more towards the middle, right? So it wasn't as far of a swim. So, where Scott just couldn't find it quick enough, I think. I think if it would have been a foot race, I don't know who would have won.
Yeah, I mean, Scott was trying. I mean, he was really, with the amount that they were behind, he actually made some pretty good ground.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Jonathan kind of knew, like, hey, I could take a little break because he's still kind of far behind me. And if you've ever been in the water, obviously it takes a long time to catch up to somebody, especially on a surfboard.
Yep.
So I think he kind of knew, but that was a really good finish to the end there because, I mean, we had some really good drama in that one. But it seemed like no teams really struggled that badly. So it was... I mean, yeah, they were paddling for a while, but they didn't seem too bad, with everything. So, all right.
Oh, I just realized I made a mistake. Pops is in the best shape of anyone in this entire season.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Just imagine how old he is with how good he looks. Yeah.
He gave it a college try. He really did.
Yeah.
Really,
They did really good, actually.
Yeah.
So, coming in here, let me get to the results here. Okay, so coming in first, we had Brett and Mark. So this was their first place victory, and they moved up 6 spots. So it was a heck of a comeback win for them. Coming in second was Carson and Jack. Coming in third, and they stayed the same from the previous episode. Coming in third was Alyssa and Josiah. They moved up 2 from episode 4. Coming in at fourth was Pops and Jeff. Pretty good episode for them. They moved up 5 spots in this episode. Coming in at fifth was Han and Holden, moving up 1 spot. And coming in sixth was Melinda and Erica. They went down 2 this episode. Coming in seventh was Nick and Mike. They moved up 1 spot from the previous episode. Coming in eighth was Jonathan and Anna. And unfortunately for Scott and Lori, they were eliminated with the double U-turn vote. So Scott and Lori, let's talk about them. Goldberg, did you like Scott and Lori?
I did. I mean, it was a drastic, I mean, I think they finished top 3 like in their first 4 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So, I
Yes.
mean, you gotta wonder, had they not gotten double U-turn, was this a top 3 team? But I mean, we'll really never know.
Yeah, I would have liked to see them in it more because they were really competitive and they were a pretty good, strong team. So in hindsight, this is not a bad vote because whenever you can get a strong team out early, it's the right vote. But as a viewer, I would have liked to see them in it longer because I think there would have been a really good rivalry that would have brewed with some of the teams. So, but I mean, can we talk about Lori though? Like how she used her age? She was kind of feisty.
Which was funnier than hell.
Yeah, I mean, she was super
she was
feisty.
like, "Oh, I can't run." Really?
She was almost like the female version of Jonathan in a sense.
Yeah.
Compared, not extreme, but
yeah, compared to Jackie and Lauren,
yeah,
Jackie's 61.
Exactly.
Pops is in his 60s.
Yeah, so is Melinda too.
Yeah.
So
ridiculous.
I don't know. I liked them. It was kind of unfortunate they had to go out because of this, but rules are rules, right?
Yeah, that's what it's there for.
They could have done better with the Coral. There's no question. So
sure. Yeah.
It's not like they didn't have a shot.
Right.
So Goldberg, any final comments with this team?
With them, no. But I am interested in your guys' thoughts on a couple other teams that we haven't gotten to, but I think I can wait since I think we'll get there. So.
Okay. This episode, Indonesia. What did you, Calbert? What did you give this episode?
I gave it a 6. I thought it was fine. Mostly because of the W turn. I knew my team was going to get picked for the W turn, so it was a 6. Survive in advance.
Yeah, and then obviously Jonathan having a very frustrated leg, it couldn't have, made you happy with their. It's not really their fault, but it's just circumstances. I thought the episode was good. It was good scenery. I give it a 7 because then we had some drama at the end too, so that was good. Goldberg, what do you want to rate this episode?
I thought it was a totally middle of the pack episode. I'll give it like a 5.5. But I think it's fair to say that. I mean, I think we all know here I would have picked Brett and Mark to win, so I think I should be able to ride with them.
Hey, you know what? I actually like Brett and Mark, so I'm not even mad that you picked them. So actually, I was potentially thinking about picking them.
Yeah, they were top 3 for me.
Yeah, they were in it for me. But Goldberg or Calbert, you jobbed them though after they got that unfortunate pairing with the what was that, the intersection.
Oh
you kind of jobbed them. I was like, you know what, don't let that fool you. They're still a good team. It was not their fault.
True.
Before I forget, I know we pick our teams who we think is going to win, but if you could pick any team from the beginning, either one of you, who would you have picked that you would have liked to see win the race?
I mean,
probably Brett and Mark. Yeah, if I wouldn't have picked Jonathan and Anna. Yeah.
No, like who you would want to win, like
who you would have won. Oh, okay. Yeah.
For me, it would have been probably. For me, it would have been probably Jeff and Pops.
Fair. I jobbed them. I did. I jobbed Pops pretty bad. I was on an apology tour pretty much for the first 3 weeks of the podcast.
You knew they never had a shot to win, but I would have.
I did not think they would do as well as they did. Yeah. I didn't think they'd do as well as they did. Yeah.
I didn't think Melinda and Erica would either.
Right.
No, there's a lot of teams that surprised me.
Right.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, Erica's pretty competitive, so she kept them in the game. Unfortunately, she also lost them the game this episode. Or what? We'll get to that. But
we'll get to it.
Yeah. No, if I was just picking on like who I'd want to win because it would have been a great story, I would have went Mark and Larry, the guys went out the first episode.
That's true. That's a good point.
I mean, wouldn't that be cool though to see a team in their mid-60s
Yes.
win the whole thing? Like that would be crazy to me.
Yep.
That's a good point. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So, all right. All right. That is it for our episode 5 recap. This is a short one. We will be back with episode 6.